Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 4 in Depth. In today's episode, I want to talk about the fastest way to kill Firebreak during his radioactive core, because if you're like me, you've probably been cooked by this radioactive core at least 743 million times. Firebreak's radioactive core, from a gameplay overview, is something that will kill you very fast. It permeates through walls and barriers, and has very limited warning. It doesn't beep, it doesn't make extremely loud noises. It makes the Geiger counter clicks, there's some heat wave sort of visual disturbances, and every now and then you'll hear him deploy it, but you usually won't notice until you're hearing the microwave sound on your body and your health is ticking down, and you've got just a second or two to panic and figure out what's going on and how to save yourself. The original effect of this during the beta was that it also prevents you from healing for a very long time afterwards, so that the next gunfight you get into, you're severely disadvantaged. However, for whatever reason, players didn't seem to think that was powerful enough, so Treyarch buffed it to now it'll just straight up murder you. And I think that's a little absurd, but that's where we're at, and the healing for a long time afterwards or not being able to is very, very annoying as well. However, uniquely, Firebreak can heal himself from his own radioactive core damage. If he goes into the red zone and takes damage, the damage that he takes, even though it's a burn, he can still heal through. I don't know if this is a bug or intended feature since he's the fire guy, but I think that would be a nice balance to this ability if, when he took damage, he also couldn't heal himself. And there is one exception to this rule, and that's that Crash's specialist ability can heal you during or after the burn. The Crash specialist overheal just overrides everything else in the game. No matter what burn or stasis effect you may have, you get healed and you're going to be good to go. Thanks to a recent update, the tactical mask offers significant damage resistance from the core's effects, roughly 2.5 times damage resistance, so you have 2.5 times as long to live and react. If you have a problem with Firebreak or any sort of stuns or seeker mines or disables of any kind, or even the razor wire, actually the tac mask is a fantastic perk to run. But for our purposes today, it's just something to keep in mind that will allow you to live longer inside the radioactive core's effect radius. I did test this out. Ajax's shield offers no extra protection. If he has his shield up facing the radiation or whatever, it makes no difference. He still gets cooked all the same, and that makes sense. And now we're going to move into the section of this video about how to kill Firebreak and why he's so difficult to kill. So when Firebreak is doing the radioactive core, Firebreak has roughly a 75% damage reduction, or effectively 600 health, 4 times normal health. This would be like getting a level 3 armor from Blackout and then putting a level 1 armor on top of it. And if he's been healed by Crash or anything like that, it can get even more annoying to kill this guy. It's very, very difficult. It's a big bullet sponge. So if you have a lot of teammates nearby and multiple people are shooting at Firebreak, great, you'll probably kill him. However, trying to shoot him down solo is usually a waste of your time and you will usually die. It's very rare that I'm able to gun down Firebreak as a solo gunner. So we're going to focus on the best ways to kill him and some of the stats about his health. So high caliber headshots and headshots in general do count, but not for very much, because that 75% damage scaling is just so incredibly strong. A high caliber headshot on most guns is about 30% bonus damage, but that still then gets scaled down by 75%. So effectively it's not even like a whole percentage point change there. It's just downright brutal. So you can see that it's barely more than a 7% change in damage if you're getting high caliber headshots. Base weapon headshots are only 10% extra damage, so it's almost completely negligible. I say that like they count in the technical sense, but you're definitely wasting your time if you try to headshot Firebreak. FMJ does seem to have a modest effect on damage reduction. It takes the damage reduction from 75% down to about 70%, so it technically is an effect that I can report, though I would tell you not to rely on that in a gunfight, because you're still going to have to take a lot of shots to kill him, no matter if you're running FMJ1 or FMJ2. Now, let's move into some ways that you can just completely disable the core and then kill Firebreak more easily. Anything that disrupts, stuns, or disables movement will immediately turn the radioactive core off, such as a concussion grenade, which is probably the most common and easiest thing to have available. If you throw a seeker mine at him, that will disable the core, though the time it takes to throw the mine and whatever is probably too slow. And of course, a 9-bang. Anything that makes you put your hand up in front of your face and not be able to crouch and all the other status effects will immediately disable the core. It doesn't kill Firebreak, but it does remove the threat. And you can insta-kill Firebreak with most of the specialist abilities, the high damage ones. The War Machine, the Annihilator, the Purifier, the Tempest, the Grav Slam. Any of the abilities that are strong enough to get a normal insta-kill will insta-kill Firebreak. And for clarification purposes, yes, I know the Tempest doesn't literally insta-kill him, but it does disable the core, and it puts him in a state so vulnerable that he's almost certainly going to be going down very, very soon. So I put that in the insta-kill category. Nomad's dog Juno doesn't give one single flying fudgesicle about radiation and will run straight through insta-kill Firebreak and seemingly take no damage. The downside is this is slow and unreliable. You have to whistle to call the dog in, the dog has to come and charge Firebreak, and you can't really control the dog's AI or what he's doing. This tip is really more to keep in mind that if you are Firebreak and you know a dog is coming, you should probably get out of your core because it's just going to kill you. It's just going to murder you. His dog's immune to absolutely everything. Torque's barrier can work. If you are Torque, you can slide up, throw the barrier down in front of Firebreak. Since he has limited mobility, he's not going to be able to move out of the way, and you can kill him. Probably kind of wasteful. If you throw razor wire on him, that's not going to work at all. That's almost completely useless in this circumstance, so I would definitely not go for that. And another thing that's a terrible idea is shotguns. There are some players that think, okay, well, the shotguns are incredibly high damage, and this guy's got damage resistance, so if I put a whole ton of damage on him with the shotguns, he'll die. Unfortunately, the shotguns aren't really that high damage in this game. Most of them, at most, deal enough damage to kill you once over, not 4 times over. So with shotguns, it can take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots to kill, and by that time, you've been microwaved. The Mozu Head Splitter will instantly kill Firebreak, as well it should, because it's supposed to guarantee one-shot kills. That's if you have it already. Not a lot of people use this weapon or attachment, so the odds of you having something like this in your back pocket, I would say, are exceedingly rare. Moving along, the Combat Knife and Tomahawk are instant kills. So if you happen to have a knife or a hawk and you see Firebreak doing his Radioactive Core thing, you should definitely go in for a stab, or go ahead and throw for a stab for that matter. The Tomahawk is by far going to be the easiest one because you can throw from outside of the radioactive range, and on top of that, he has slow movement speed, so he should be a really easy target to hit. Similarly, the Bayonet and Tack Knife operator mods work too. I imagine if they add other melee weapons to this game, or anything that is a insta-kill type item, should get an insta-kill on Firebreak. Now, time finally at the end of this episode for the actual best method to deal with him, because as you've seen, not many of these methods are good or they require some sort of special item. The best method is to melee Firebreak. Firebreak will die in 2 melee hits every single time. Doesn't seem to matter if it's front or back. He doesn't seem to have any sort of damage reduction whatsoever against melee. So the first attack will drop him down to 10 health, and then the second attack will kill him. If you want to get fancy with it, you can go in and try to shoot once and then melee, or melee and shoot once, or if you see if he's already weak, you just go in for the melee insta-kill, and that kills Firebreak very, very effectively. The downside to this tactic is, of course, you have to be in the radioactive zone to do it. If you're already low on health, if you're getting hosed or cheesed, that's going to be hard. For this strategy to work, you have to commit very early into the radioactive burst and very hard to slide in and go for the kill. It's definitely the best strategy, especially if you have teammates shooting. If Firebreak takes 1 extra shot, you just punch him and he's done. And in the future, when I'm playing and streaming, you're going to see me go in for melee kills more than I'm going to try to stand back and shoot him, because I know shooting him is just a complete waste of time. It's kind of a spooky tactic, though. If you have Tack Mask, though, you could probably just walk up to him and do him. Tack Mask buys you a whole ton of extra time. Guys, that is all for this in-depth episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. Weapon reviews should be coming sometime in the following week. I'm going to try to do the video about how to open up NAT types on PlayStation 4. Then we're going to do LMGs, and then DMRs, and then finally sniper rifles. And once again, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.
Hoorah, mate. All objectives complete. Stand down.